All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. I am VeeDotMe. I am here with the one and only, the honorable CupAhNoodle. How you doing today, Cup?
I'm good. What's up? How you doing? What's up, guys?
Doing pretty well myself. Of course, we are on the Cookout channel, so good to see everybody in the chat. Hope you all are having a good, it's Saturday, right?
Yes.
Jeez.
You were as bad as me.
6:20?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
I definitely, this June definitely got away from me. I got a call, what is it, Father's Day tomorrow? Is that right?
It is. And I knew 2 weeks ago, and then I was like, oh, that is tomorrow. So, you know.
Yeah, shout out to all the fathers in the chat right now. If I don't see you tomorrow, well, if I don't see you tomorrow, happy Father's Day today.
Happy Pappy's Day.
All right, so for those who haven't been here before, I'm VeeDotMe. I am a Discord mod for the Cookout. And what we're doing today is we're talking with CupAhNoodle, as someone who has newly started a YouTube channel. I think you said it was, what, maybe 4 months old now? 6 months, I think?
Since December. So December of last year.
Nice. So we wanted to just have a quick chat session. It's not really a 101. It's more so there's two people who are on twitch.tv doing live stream content, but then there's this other thing going on at the same time, this YouTube content. I want to really get Cup's feelings and experiences, and hope that's something that we can share to people in the chat. So if you can introduce yourself, Cup, to the one or two people who may not know who you are.
Okay, what's up, guys? I'm CupAhNoodle. I've been on Twitch since 2016. I'm a variety ambassador, and I'm a member of the Twitch Safety Council. And I recently embarked on starting a YouTube. And like I said, I've been on YouTube since December of last year, and we're growing. We predominantly play horror games. My YouTube is pretty much indie and horror games. So that's pretty much what we do on Twitch for the most part. So I figured bring that to YouTube and do it there as well.
Nice, good to hear. For those of you who may or may not know who I am, I'm VeeDotMe. I normally play roguelikes and action games on Twitch. But right now, I'm in the middle of Dark Souls. I don't know how I ended up playing that. But YouTube, I've been on for a little while, really like kind of trying to go hard the last year and a half. And as I see my friends, people who I look up to and watch, people like Cup here, I love to see the content that people are putting out, but also see like what they're trying to make out of it. So I've been like in this sudden urge. I just want to talk to people about their content. And that's why we're here right now. Cup, so you have a Twitch channel that, for all intents and purposes, you could just be doing that and not do YouTube at all. So what made you think you wanted to try like going in that direction?
Well, when I first started, Twitch is my main. That's not going to change. Twitch will always be my main. And I had wanted to do a YouTube since about 2018, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I wanted to make sure whatever it was something that would stay consistent, something that you don't make a video once and then you disappear for the next 6 months and then you come back again. So whatever it was going to be, I wanted it to be simple, something that I could commit to and do on a consistent basis. And trying to streamline that and narrow that down was probably the hardest part of YouTube. But once I figured that out, then I was able to kind of roll everything out slowly, because Twitch is great. And while we are growing on Twitch, I feel like we've reached a time where content is just ever growing. So I wanted to use YouTube as a way to find new people outside of just, waiting for Twitch opportunities or things of that nature. I just another way of putting yourself out there, because YouTube is just another untapped market in itself, So I felt like let's finally get that going in hopes to find new people to bring to the community over at Twitch.
Now, I know you were saying that this was, and you've been on Twitch for a while, and you kind of started on YouTube, like you said, around December or so. Was there like a specific moment in December where you were like, oh, like the light bulb just flashed in your head? Like you got the good idea, and now you said, okay, this is what we're gonna do on YouTube.
Even when so when the light bulb flashed, even then I was still waiting. I overthink everything. So I think of all the possible scenarios in which case this may not work out. So it was one of those, I think it's time, but I have to make sure, you know, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly where I'm going to be going from here. And I want it to be something, like I said, that I can be consistent with. So once I had the idea, then I kind of started trying to see if I could put it into motion. Okay, I know what I'm going to be doing now. I know what I'm going to be playing now. I tried to get ahead of the curve. So I knew what I was doing in advance, but even then that didn't work, because I learned that with YouTube, the best thing you can do is be current, because every day someone's uploading something new, which isn't too much different than Twitch. But when I first started, I had like this long list of games, you know, that I was going to play, and we're just going to keep that going. But then as I continued doing it, it kind of hit me, you know, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel as much as I'm just trying to add content to a new platform. So I kind of rely on my peers in the sense that I let YouTube kind of dictate what games are in. Okay, so this new indie game came out. That's what we're going to be playing this week, as opposed to me picking games, you know, from years ago and no one's checking for them. I tried to find, you know, what's actually current on YouTube itself, because like I said, it's not my main, and I don't want to spend all my time trying to, you know, reinvent something new on a whole new platform, as much as I just want to add to that platform.
So I'm laughing to myself because I got another guest here who's not gonna speak, but she's looking at me for something. So I mean,
I saw her pop up.
So if you had like years of footage probably to choose from, you decide, okay, so December's gonna roll around, you got some ideas, that does not include, at least as far as I know, it didn't include, hey, I have, you know, these streams from November that may have been, you know, popping off. It may have been like actually decent stuff. Those, well, I know you put out highlight videos. I think you did one for the month of January, but did you, like in December, did you think, well, maybe I should take like this older stuff and do something around that?
When we first started doing the highlight videos, I tried to use that as a way to kind of showcase what we do on the stream. So it's kind of like, my theory is, if you like the YouTube, then you'll have fun at the stream, which is why if you see the videos, they're not heavily edited. There's not a lot of cuts. I try to keep them pretty clean. I kind of want it to be a very smooth transition from, you know, YouTube to Twitch, or even vice versa, which is why I play new games, because that's for my Twitch community. It's more for that side, to give them something different, as opposed to me just, you know, cutting an old stream, something they've already seen. I would much rather give everyone something new. That way everyone's getting something, and just try to streamline it so the transition's smooth. Either way, you're going to pretty much, if you like one, you'll like the other. So if you don't like it, quintessentially, you're just not going to like it. And that's fair. But at least that way, if they do like the YouTube, when they migrate and say, hey, I found you on YouTube, it's not going to be like a night and day situation where it's like, hey, where's all the edits? Where's all the jump cuts? Where's all the things? Where's the bells and whistles? As opposed to, you know, it's just live. It's the same exact thing, just live.
Yeah, imagine clicking into a cup content and saying that you don't like it. That's, I didn't get that.
Hey, that exists. I'm not exempt. I don't do the highlights anymore, though. I don't know. There's so many games coming out, and I love playing the games. I'm here for these games, that it just became, I just want to keep playing the games. And every week I've discovered itch.io. What is it? Itchy.io or something. Yeah, I love that site. And every day there's a game. So it's like, we spent like a good month Siren Head was like that guy, everything. I think Siren Head is still like the thing right now. And it's like week after week, there's like a game coming out. And I'm like, well, if I do highlights and I'm not going to get to play Siren Head and I don't want to miss out playing these games. So I'm like, the highlights, we could take them or leave them. I have had a couple people say, where's the highlights? But I think as we continue, I don't think I'm going to be doing anymore. I think just the games. We don't really need highlights. We have clips and they don't clip me at my best anyways. They only clip me when I die. So it's, it's fine. I never get the MLG clips, but they still yell at me about, lack of highlights. They're probably yelling at me right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure someone's yelling at me right now, but
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're a bad thing though.
You go into that clip page and it's like just you on the main menu, or it's you that happen to go to the restroom and it's just a chair. And it just happens to be that's the clip people want to take that day. So now you have to like scroll through all of the excess just to get to the real meat and potatoes of the clips. So I get that.
Well, I don't think they're bad. I think any kind of content you want to put out that sits well with you and works well for you and what you're doing is perfect. So me saying that I stopped doing highlights doesn't mean that, you won't put your content out there and you won't add your own. Like there is no wrong or right way as long as you keep it consistent. That was just the way I went about it. But if you want highlights every month, that's not a bad thing. It's a way for you to show people more about your community and what they're missing out on. It's smart. It's just for me, I kind of transitioned only because I'm all about the games. I just wanted to play the games. So I made the transition, but I would never tell someone like highlights aren't good. They definitely are. They're a way for you to showcase what you have going on. I don't want to confuse anyone either. So I just feel like when it comes to your content, whatever shows you and whatever works best for you is perfect for you. There is no right or wrong way to do it. So I wouldn't like anything we talk about today. I wouldn't say follow my criteria all the way through because no two streams are the same. No two communities are the same. We're all different. So whatever sits right with you, whatever you want to do, whatever works for you, it's perfect because it's you. It's what you want to do. It's what you're bringing to the table. The same way we play these really weird games, there'll be someone else saying, I don't like these little indie games. I like mainstream games. I like AAA games. Well, that's what you like. And that's what rocks with you. Or, you like your shooters and all of your YouTube content is you jumping out of a bus and building really, really high and shooting things. That's fine because that's what works for you. So whatever, gets your point across. No, I'm so bad. Whatever gets your point across, go for it. Just make sure it's something that you want to do and you want to do consistently. The worst thing you can do is hit your wagon to something you don't like. It's always easy to add, but it will never be as easy to take away. Because once you take something away, even if everyone is good with it, there will always be someone that says, I miss this or I miss that. When you add, do it slowly and think it through. Because like I said, you can always add something, but taking away something is tough. People get accustomed to things and and while mostly they'll be supportive and they won't be upset, you'll still hear, well, I miss this or when's that coming back? So just think it through when it comes to your content. Be mindful of what you add and what you take away in the future. Make sure it's something that you do want to stick with, or you'll end up like me and I'll still hear about I miss highlights. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. It's tough because on YouTube, so on Twitch, it's a live show. Like you click in, you kind of know what you're gonna get. But on YouTube, you may have had a video that released on Monday. Let's say you hit, the first 20 minutes of the vid. You got to a certain section. It gave you a really good experience, like pretty fleshed out from A to Z. But then, now that video's done, maybe a new game came out and it might be time to go to the next one. Is it the case where we're going to be playing something to completion and like never be able to put out a new vid on the next week because we're still finishing the last one essentially? And when you tell people that on YouTube, they might say, well, Cup, where's the rest of Siren Head?
For me, how long to beat, it will be your best friend. Just go to Google and just how long to beat. It's HLTB and put the game in.
I've never heard of that.
I live by it because whether it's YouTube or it's like Twitch, 90% of our games we beat the same day. Like we play it, we beat it, we move on to the next thing. Longer games that are, you know, like 25 plus hours, it may take like a day or two, but I like to know how long these games are before I even go into it. Even with YouTube, they're blind runs, so I won't watch it, but most of these games someone's already played. I try to see what's current because again, YouTube's not my main. So figure out what your main is if you're doing both, unless it's just YouTube. And if that's the case, then you can actually get into the nitty gritty of YouTube and research more. For me, I kind of see what's trending in the realm of what I do, which is mostly the indie horror games. So I have like my go-to YouTubers and I can see, okay, well, they're playing this or this is the wave this week. And I kind of know. From there, I can say like full playthrough. And that's all you have to literally go into YouTube and put in. You can put in Siren Head, whatever the game is, full playthrough. And you'll see, you know, well, it took this person 2 hours. It took 3 hours. For me, I try to add a little time to it because they probably knew what they were doing. This is a blind run, so it could take me a little longer, but that gives me an idea how long a game is. For me, since YouTube is mostly indie games, these games are no more than 20 minutes. I think the longest one I played was maybe an hour, if that. I think Sweet 776 was about an hour. For the most part, these indie games are not very long. So for
games,
me,
by the way.
Yes, and they really are gems. They really are. But the average indie game isn't going to be really long. So for me to research, I'm like, okay, so I can do this in one video. Like I've yet to have a video where it's like, you know, part 1 or part 2, because those would be main games, in which case I'm playing on Twitch anyways. See what I'm saying? Because YouTube's not my main. So it's a matter of if it's a game I really want to play, but it's not very long, we'll take it to YouTube. Because when I'm streaming, I'm minimum 6 hours. We can't beat a game in 20 minutes and then smile at each other for another 4 hours. So it's like, that's not going to get it. So it's pretty much just figuring out what your main is, what time you're putting, you know, do you want your videos to be longer? When you first start on YouTube, you don't have to come out the gates with a hour-long video, because that's when things like retention come in and how long people are actually watching. If it's not, when you're just getting started, you want a gradual build. I feel like if you come out the gate swinging and you have these hour-plus long videos, one, that's a lot of editing. And two, I feel like you may not get the reward that you're hoping for because a lot goes into it. So you would like to think, you know, it's more than just views. You want to assume, you know, you can see YouTube gives you your analytics. How long are people actually watching the video? If it's a 10-minute video, can you keep them for half? Can you keep them for 3 minutes? Can you get them to stay for 7 minutes? These things matter. This is what's going to move you up and be viewable to other people. If people are actually sticking around and watching, it's more than just a view and a like on YouTube. And I'm learning that as I continue.
Yeah, I really value, I guess, digestible content. So for example, let's say Cup was to do the long play of Siren Head. You have a choice though. You can try to make it as digestible as you can, or just go with the long play. Obviously, it's whatever is more so fitted to your own content. But the concept that, well, if we do this longer stuff on Twitch, which is the live show, might be a little more comfortable there. But then on YouTube, this is stuff that people can click and get like that nice bite from the sandwich of Cup content, and then not have to stay an hour at the buffet, I guess. I personally do have some hour-plus long vids on YouTube. Just to say that my content itself, the game, I guess, really like cuts itself up in chapters. So each run, I guess you can think of any like game where you just hop in, you do something until the end, and then that's the end. But on your next playthrough, it's going to be different. So that itself is about an hour 30 minutes, and the viewer knows that they're going to see The run essentially is gonna start at A, and they know for a fact that the final boss is at Z, and they want to see A to Z. Compared to me saying, okay, I streamed for 4 hours. I did 4 of these. I'm just gonna toss up the four, all at 4 hours, unedited, and let it rock. When we talk about like digestible, the people who expect to see that, they only want to see the one part of it. I can cut it into 4 blocks. That's technically 4 vids. I'm like quadruple dipping into that live stream. But the content that they want to see on YouTube, it's tailored down to what they would kind of want to see anyway. Am I editing all 4 hours? Maybe not. But I try my best. If I know that I went to grab a bite to eat in one of the runs, as I'm scrolling through, I'll cut that section out. Make sure there's no chairs happening on the actual YouTube content.
So you pretty much clean it up though.
Exactly.
Yeah. And again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're putting out, And I think it's cool you take the time to at least clean it up.
Yeah, and that is from a little bit of research. So like Cup was saying, you went and actually looked at what's current. You're looking at run times of stuff, and then that's how you're deciding around what you think a person would want to see. And obviously when you're making the content, even though you are making it for yourself, we do kind of want people to see it. So it's, I guess if you had a store and you want to own a store and you want to sell stuff, that's great. But you also want people to want to buy it at the same time. So that has to, maybe sweep the floors, maybe you paint the walls a little bit, maybe you take some stuff off the shelves that aren't doing too well, bring the stuff in that people seem to really like, and, tailor it a little bit. Now, before we go into, because I really do want to talk about these itch.io games, like that's on the list. But before we do that, when you talk about actually like setting aside time to stream and setting aside time to do a YouTube video, can you remind everyone what your normal schedule is?
I stream Monday through Friday from noon to about 6 p.m. So minimum, no more than 6 to 8 hours. I try to keep it at least 6, and that's 5 days a week. I work full time, but I work remotely. So that's the thing too. So I work remotely. So I usually work in the morning. Then once I knock that out, then I stream, and then I'm off on the weekends. But now I got YouTube for that, and I still have to edit. And I'm married. I'm a mom. So, it's a lot. A typical week it's a lot at this point. But again, that's why I tried to keep things simple as to, be able to keep it consistent. But I usually try to film my YouTube videos on Saturday, no later than Sunday, which will give me enough time to edit and do what needs to be done so I can have them up on Tuesday, because I drop one every Tuesday at 5 a.m. my time, so Pacific time.
Okay. That's 8 a.m. Eastern. I'm putting mine up at 12 p.m. Eastern. So that's noon time. Where did you decide to land on that number, 8 a.m.?
Okay, so I put mine out in the morning only because before I worked remotely, that's kind of what I did in the morning. So when I first come to work, not saying that everyone doesn't work hard. I know you guys are hard workers in these streets. For me, when I came to work, the first hour or two, I did nothing. That's when I caught up on everything. And there's a YouTuber, her name is Yolanda, and her YouTube channel is How to Cake It. And she's like one of my favorites. I've been watching her on YouTube for years. And her thing was every Tuesday, she puts out a video, but it's always in the morning. And I feel like catching people in the morning is it's either in the morning or before they go to bed. And I know that my favorite YouTubers that I watch consistently, I know when you're dropping a video. And if you don't, it will throw off my entire day. So I said Tuesday's going to be my day. And I picked the morning because I feel like people are kind of just barely waking up. And I feel like when you first wake up, you're kind of chilling. So I can catch you at work, average person don't go straight to work when they get to work. They kind of go through their phone and everything else. And it kind of just gives everyone a chance, you know, like, oh, I'm just waking up playing in my phone and can watch a quick video real quick, see what Cup got going on. But I picked early because I feel like people just wake up and we just play on our phones for a while, and then you know, get it out the way and then start your day.
Yeah, my wife tells me all the time that one of the best feelings as a viewer is Thursday hits, you've waken up in the morning and you see just your recommended, just jam-packed with brand new videos from everyone you subscribe to, and you just know that's gonna be a good day. So to like, okay, maybe something came out at 8 p.m. Maybe, you know, this person happened to post it randomly on Friday or something like that. It's like a different sensation when, as a viewer, you click in and you know that something's gonna be there. Of course, it's double-edged sword. You might have people who say, hey, Cup, it's 8 a.m. my time. I don't see that video. What's happening? Oh,
no. See, I schedule mine. So by Monday night, it's done. I have everything scheduled. I don't wake up at 5 in the morning and do that. YouTube has it set up so you can schedule it. So if I were to be better with time, I can be done. If I'm done on a Sunday, I can go ahead and upload and just have that bad boy scheduled, and I'm just free. And now come, you know, Tuesday morning, 5 a.m. my time or Pacific time, it's already up and going. I look at YouTube because I am new to actually being a YouTuber. I look at it from the perspective of, I've been watching YouTube since YouTube first was a thing, and they only had weird fight videos on there. So I know what I looked for from YouTubers that I like. I know who I expect to see, you know, post. And when they don't, it hurts my feelings. Like, I'll go to YouTube, and even if I don't watch them, you know, you have your watch later, so you can go through and you can set that up. So when the time comes, you know, for me, I watch YouTube before I go to bed, but in the morning I kind of go through and see what's going on, add it to my watch later. And then before I go to bed, I can just sit through and go through them. If they don't upload, my whole day is thrown. And I'm like, wait, what? But today is, you know, Wednesday. I'm supposed to get this video. It's Sunday. Where's my streamers reloaded? Like, I know what I'm looking for. So the way I kind of go about it is from a viewer perspective, because I've spent more time being a viewer on YouTube versus actually adding content. So I know what I look for in my YouTubers, and I try to just keep that same standard within myself. I can't expect this from them, but then I'm faulty and just being flaky all over the place, you know?
Yeah, I'm right there.
But you can definitely schedule your videos. That is a thing. It is very helpful. You can knock out a bunch of videos and just schedule them in advance if you want to, and just, you know, be free and chilling.
Yeah, new YouTube studio. We were on the fence. They're making changes and you don't know how they're going to end up. But bulk uploads with the scheduler is pretty decent, I gotta say. If you are trying YouTube and you don't really, or really you're worried about when to post, you don't have to worry anymore. You can just toss it up. What I typically do, because some of this stuff is kind of bigger file sizes, before bed, I'll put a bunch of things up. Let's say I have vids going up on Monday. I might go to bed on Saturday, have everything going up into the queue. It's all listed as private or unlisted. And then Sunday, I'm going through, okay, this is the one for Monday, this is the one for Tuesday, so on and so forth. So
you just go through and set it up.
Yeah, once the week starts, then I'm chilling, just like she said. Now, you said that after the live streams, it's YouTube day, you got your vids. Let's say you already recorded the stuff. Now you're actually doing the tech part of it too. You're doing the thumbnails. You're doing the export and render. You're doing what people call like the metadata. You're doing the research. You're figuring out what the title's gonna be. What the tags
I find my tags and yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you using like any kind of tools for that? Are you just like combing through some of your
there's
favorite
a couple things
creators?
I look at. So for tags in specifically tags, what I'll do is I know that there's different apps and stuff you can use for it. I don't. At this point, I look at YouTube and I look at Google. I base it on what the game is and I see what comes up first. So the way I'll do it is Siren Head. I'll put the game and I'll see what pops up first. Is it, because sometimes it's walkthrough, sometimes it's playthrough, and you can see the top tags in YouTube. But to ensure that if you're lucky, your videos can be on Google, I'll go through Google and I'll put the game in. And then from there, if you check videos, you can see all the top videos for that specific game. And you can kind of streamline it and see what they're tagging it as. You can see the titles and what they're naming their games. Nothing about what I do changes. The only thing that changes is I may change the initial title. Like it might say, today I had a sandwich, and the next one will say, I had cereal. But after that, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the name of the game and then the genre of the game. That's in every title. From there, I try to find a way to work it into the description, so it's kind of repetitive. And after that, nothing really changes as far as, my setup. I'll put the name of the game, where you can find me on Twitch. That's kind of like a copy paste thing. I just kind of made a blueprint. I put that in, but I just changed the first sentence of every game to make sure it streamlines back into the title. And then I find my tags based on what kind of comes up first in YouTube and Google. And I kind of go from there. But I don't have a bunch of tags. I hear different things about that. Most of my tags don't change. It's like my name, horror game, horror playthrough. And then from there, any tags I add will just be game specific.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the exact same thing, but I'm going to give you a little bonus to it. And you may already be doing this, but people in chat, maybe there's one person in chat who doesn't do this, so I'll feel better about myself knowing I helped that one person that was there. So I do the title, then I take the title, copy and paste that into my description as like the very first thing. So it might be Siren Head, horror game, blind playthrough. I bring that down into the description so it's there too. Siren Head, horror game, blind playthrough. I might extrapolate that a little bit, say, first time ever playing the game. Just like, technically it's robotic, like it's written for humans, but like designed for robots. So I try to really like hammer down everything that was about Siren Head. And then the bonus is that I actually go to find the description of the game from either the store. Steam is like really good for this. I go to the Steam store, I go to the dev's description, copy that, paste it in, have like a nice about the game or game details from steam.com, and they have all kinds of stuff in there too. They're saying it's horror. They're saying it's, good for first-time players. So that hits additional spots for all of that. And I mean, does it work? I don't know, because obviously YouTube is like
YouTube's the white whale. For every time I hear something I should do, I'll hear someone say why you shouldn't do it. And for that reason alone, I would just say test different things out, especially when you're first starting. When you first start doing something, this is when you get to just do whatever you want and just have fun. I think when I first started, it was way too many tags, and then it just felt excessive. So I was like, hey, we're gonna streamline this a bit, So I kind of started falling back on those, and you kind of just get to test the things, test what works for you, see if they go your route and they take the titles from Steam and see how they like it. Maybe you like it, but you want to streamline it to fit you. I don't think there's a wrong or right way to do it. I think the algorithms are consistently changing. So trying to catch them at the brink of everything, it's damn near impossible. So I wouldn't even, I wouldn't lose sleep if you don't hit every check, if you don't check off every box. I think the best thing you can do, whether you use 1,000,000 tags or one, is be consistent. And I think that'll be the difference between everything. I don't think that I did something that's, like reinventing the wheel. I think I post a video once a week same day, same time. And as you meet people, they know. Like you'll see in the comments, oh, Tuesday morning, I knew where to be. And I think
it's a good
repetition
right
is what's,
Thank you, viewer.
I think repetition will be your best friend doing this. And that's probably the best advice I could give, which is why I keep saying, make sure you know what you want to do. Make sure it's something that you can actually do on a consistent basis. I think 1 week can become 2 weeks, becomes a month, becomes 6 months. And before you know it, you just stopped YouTubing because, you haven't done it in so long. Now coming back is pretty much starting all over. Keep it simple, keep it consistent. That's probably the best thing I could say.
Yeah, YouTube is, I guess Twitch is the same. It might be all platforms, but it's sort of snowbally. Like as you continue to like go down the hill, it's bringing people every single time. But as soon as you stop, you almost have to restart the snowball again, unless you somehow had like the banger, which can happen. And there are people out there, like don't get us wrong, there are people out there who do vids like once a month, but they're doing like really high production value. They got teams out there. They have a unique market that only they can really showcase that kind of content in that fashion, that people will wait a month to see it again.
Well, I think even if you only put out a video once a month, all right, now going into this, you have to realize you're up against people that are putting out videos every day, multiple times a week. There's nothing wrong with that. If all you have in you is a video a month, that's fine. But you have to be consistent every month. If you have a video that's just coming out on the last Thursday of every month, well, that means every Thursday, that last Thursday, you have to be there. And keep in mind that because you're not posting as frequently as everyone else, it may take a little longer. But as long as you're being consistent and you know what you're signing up for, I think it's fine. Because technically speaking, I know for a fact, my one video isn't going to do anything compared to, my peers who are putting out a video pretty much every day. And that's fine, especially if it's not your main. I'm not going into YouTube saying, I'm trying to be a huge YouTuber. For me, I'm trying to meet new people, and I feel like it's something eventually as a content. I just like creating content. I went from a streamer, now I'm a content creator, and I know going into it, I'm not posting nearly as much as my peers, but it's consistent, and we'll grow in our own way, in our own time, and that's fine with me.
Yeah,
that's really one of those situations where I just wouldn't look left and right, to be honest.
The other bonus as a content creator is when you have, your Twitch stream and, we love Cup's Twitch stream. Like, we're having so much fun here. And then you go into the YouTube comments and they're cracking up in the YouTube comments. Great video. Loved every minute of it. So you get like that double like satisfaction from both. Like, you're doing a good job on the left, doing a good job on the right. They combine together and it's a pretty good feeling.
No, it's cool, and then you get to meet new people. And that's really what it was for. It was just, because after a while with Twitch, I feel like it's not that we all know each other, but I wanted to find a way that wasn't heavily relying on Twitch to help me find my next move. It has to be more than, if I'm not on front page, then I'm not going to meet anyone new, or you're just hoping for a host or a raid or just a new person that's new to Twitch to come in. YouTube is huge, and it's one of the biggest platforms for gaming in general. I feel like if I want to meet someone new, that would be the place to do it,
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is, so for those who don't know, I asked Cup to do this without any kind of conception that she might actually say yes. So in the process, I wanted to. I put together talking points, and my favorite talking point is basically games of choice. And I have one in here that I have to ask. Where did you find Garfield House? And how did you look at that game and decide that's the YouTuber right there? I gotta play that on YouTube.
Itch.io has so many games, and you just go through them. And I try to streamline it, so there's always something being played on YouTube, and I'll go through. And the one that's the weirdest, the most current to come out and that looks the weirdest, I'm kind of here for, because how often do we get a horror game that's Garfield? And I'm like, if we don't do this, I'm always going to wonder about the Garfield that got away. Plus, I had to confirm that was Garfield. So the weirder the game, the more likely I am to play it, only because, well, you know, how many opportunities do we get to actually play some of these games? So yeah, I'll go for it. But the weirder, the better. I'm here for the scarier ones. It's not every day I'll be like, man, a game scared me. I've played a couple games on YouTube where I was actually afraid. I think Stay Out of the House is still one of the scariest games I've ever played. I don't want to play that anymore. And I actually streamed it too. We went for it. And I was like, nope, even with everyone there, I still hated it. Like, no, I just don't want to play this game. That doesn't happen very often. Even if I'm shook, we can still beat it. And I'm like, okay, I don't like this, but we got this. Stay Out of the House. I just don't want to play. Puppet Combo wins. They win. It's probably the scariest game I've ever played.
Chat, you all have some homework tonight. You will go to Cup's Stay Out of the House vid. Go into the comments. We got to see more Stay Out of the House. We love to see more Stay Out of the House.
I was just shaking in the corner for like the rest of the day. I was just rocking back and forth like, I don't want to play that game again. I'm good. Uninstall. I need it to break. I don't ever want to play it again.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do you have... So Siren Head, like that's a good example where like it blew up on Twitter. I think it blew up on TikTok. Just like the image of Siren Head.
It's like people start making games.
Now. And that, like, you can really look at itch.io and see, okay, it's up there. That's probably something I should play at this time. What about some of the other stuff? Like, did you see a lot of these games, like, in your space? Or did, like, I want to say, like, the Garfield, did it just pop up and just, it screamed to you?
Usually they just kind of pop up on my timeline, and I can kind of see what's going on, because... like I said, I was a viewer first, so I already, you know, I'm subscribed to who I'm subscribed to, and we're kind of the same in that realm. Like, we play the same games, and being that they're posting games daily, and most of my games are either going to be, you know, on PC as for in terms of like Steam or like PlayStation. When it comes to itch.io, they're kind of doing it for me in a sense, because I'm mostly on Steam. I'm focusing more on you know, the Twitch side of things versus the YouTube side. So I can kind of just look and see what they got going on, and I'll be like, well, what is that game? Or that one looks promising. And then from there, I kind of just pick out the games I may want to play. And once you play a couple of them, they're there for life. Every time you log in, you're going to see something guaranteed.
Yeah,
they know where to find you at all times.
I think my favorite right now is probably the like house buying one, where like you're doing the virtual tour.
I love that game.
In the house.
I thought it was smart. Yes.
Yeah, just like the ideas that people are coming up with. So, and to get back to like kind of the YouTube discussion, like you could play AAA games. That's fine. A lot of people do really well with AAA, but the concept that I'm gonna play this game where it's kind of horror, but you're doing this like virtual house tour, and like you're looking in the mirror and stuff appears in the mirror and stuff like that. Like it's experiences that almost go missed unless there's people out there putting it on YouTube, which is kind of cool.
Growing up as a kid, I was all about the AAAs. I didn't realize they were called AAAs, but it's fine. This was before all the, you know, the gaming vernacular came out. But it was like AAA games only, and those were the only games we really thought of. But I'm like, man, these indie games are great. One of my favorite games last year alone was an indie game, Song of Horror. I think not coming for AAA games, but I feel like they do get passes because they're AAA games, and people aren't really going to come for them. They have to be pretty bad for people to just be like, this game isn't it, you know? And you're going to have like big business backing you and putting your game in front of everyone's face. But to play these games that, you know, one person made in like a month, and but they're genuinely great games. They're smart games. They're witty games that they just go overlooked only because they're not backed by big corporations. I like being able to play those games. And again, it's what we do it on Twitch as well. So it works for me, but I don't know. I feel like indie games don't get the love they deserve. And so if I don't know, if I could be someone playing them and then someone else will be like, hey, this game was great. Well, then I'm here for it. And at least I can say, and I love them, and other people can play them and they deserve that much. They're great games. Song of Horror was a gem. Like, it was an amazing game. The house one, the virtual tour game, genius game. It was fun. It was smart. You'd want to play it again. So much work goes into them. And I feel like at times they're overlooked just because they don't have big business backing them. They're not getting commercials everywhere you look. They're not getting mainstream love, but they're great games. And I think the more we play them, and not just myself, like, my peers and streamers and YouTubers alike, the more people are giving them chances. It's the reason why, FNAF was just this indie obscure game, and now FNAF is now this $1 million business, and and everyone knows about FNAF. Same with Minecraft. That was an indie gem that just blew up, and that was mostly because of YouTubers that were just playing Minecraft. And same with FNAF, and like Game Theory and MatPat really helped put FNAF on the map. We really do help boost these games. I don't think we realize how much power we have as content creators playing these games. I think it puts more pressure on these AAA devs to treat us right while helping to boost indie devs to show them the love they deserve.
This might be the boomer talking, but it took me like 5 seconds to figure out what FNAF was.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Like, anybody can raise their hand in chat.
GOW can be God of War, Gears of War. What are we talking about right now? I never get them. I'm sorry. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I know all the lore because I really like Game Theory. So because of that, I've never played, but I know all the lore, and I wouldn't have known what Five Nights was if it weren't for Game Theory, if I'm being honest.
Now,
and I think the more we play them, a lot of people go for it, on their downtime and play as well. And they can hit me up and be like, that game was great. And I'm happy. I'll take what I get. I'm happy. I'm here for it.
Now, speaking of that, commenters on YouTube, I've left a couple comments here and there. It's usually positive. It's always positive. I gotta say, I've never left, didn't go into the room on the left. How you might as well start the game over. I don't do that kind of stuff. But I leave the like and I say, had a lot of fun with the vid. How have you, as someone, couple months into YouTube, how have you felt about comments on YouTube? I feel like there's some, I don't want to call them misconceptions, but a lot of people are afraid of YouTube comments, especially when you put out stuff as a newer content creator. You kind of get told never read your comments.
I do. I see everything. I don't know. I treat it no differently than I treat Twitch. And if you ask me, I feel like a bad Twitch comment, which is live and in your face in that moment of time, hits a little differently than someone behind a keyboard from a distance. And it just kind of is what it is. YouTube did really, honestly, I survived. If you can survive Twitch, y'all, Twitch is live. This is right now, I type something and you're looking at it right now in front of your face, and you can choose to respond to it. If you can survive live, YouTube is a walk in the park. And I go into everything knowing not everyone is gonna like me, not everyone's gonna rock with what I do. It is not my job to unpeel all those layers and figure out why you don't like me. It is what it is. Like, if you leave me a comment and it's like you're gobbledygook, well then that's fine. I'm not gonna be arguing with you on there. I'm also not gonna delete it. I'll just be gobbledygook in your eyes and be on to my next video come, that following Tuesday. It's never gonna be avoided. Think of your favorite content creator or YouTuber and you can look, no one's exempt. The only difference is I guess, there's so many comments you won't see it. I think eventually you can't read every comment, but when you first start off, you are. But I wouldn't let it make or break you. Don't even think of it as a matter of if, look at it as a matter of when. And when it does, it shouldn't bother you because it was to be expected. Not everyone's gonna like what we do, and that's fine. As long as we're good with it and you have your people and they're good with it, then it's just a part of what we do.
In the spirit of full disclosure, I did check Cup's emotes, looking for the Cup blind, because I was imagining like people yelling at you during the Twitch stream. I could just imagine like Cup blinds all the way up the Twitch chat. It's on the left, Cup. She passed it.
I get yelled at all the time. It's fine. It's fine. No, I'm definitely blind. Those who know me know I'm blind. They yell at me anyways, but I go into everything saying, dude, I'm blind, so stall me out. I still get in trouble, but it really isn't that serious. I would never let it stop you from doing what you want to do at the end of the day. Just know that it comes with the territory, but you love what you do way more than the people that don't rock what you do.
Yeah.
And I think if that's the case, then you'll be fine.
I think from my experience too, like the amount of, say, negative comments on YouTube versus positive, and that's assuming that you make content that's easily digestible. If you were to put up, you know, a Twitch VOD that's 5 hours long and like half of it's muted or something like that, and you get a negative comment, I mean, obviously non-toxic content, I mean, just something that it's not glowing praise, then sure, that's to be expected. But I think for the most part, I'd say I've probably gotten maybe 5 negative out of 50. And I want to not say it's 10%. It's definitely lower than that.
I don't know. Comment-wise, okay, so I'm weird. I don't really remember people when they're mean to me. Like someone can come in and say something really mean. Like I could be streaming and someone can come in and say something just crappy. And we don't do a lot of banning in my stream. So 9 times out of 10, they'll come back and they'll be like, hey, do you remember me? I really don't. I don't remember people that were like crappy. Now, if you were cool, I'll remember you for life. It could be years from now. And if you were decent, I'll be like, hey, man, what it do? You know, I'll remember you. But if you're not nice to me, or you just you suck, I probably won't remember you. So I know I'm not exempt, and I'm sure someone has said something, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't, because if you hold on to it, you're gonna be upset forever. And I know it's very easy to hold on to the negative. Like I know for a fact, people can say you are the best person ever, and you will still hold on to the one person who said that you suck. So I learned very early, you gotta let that go. Because if not, you're just gonna be jaded as a content creator or just as an individual. And I love what I do, and I don't want to spend more time upset and focusing on the people that don't rock with me. Because again, if you don't like what I do, I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you suck. I mean, depending on how you talk to me, you could, you know. But if you're just like, nah, this isn't for me, I'm not feeling you, it's not going to keep me up all night, because I go into this knowing not everyone's going to like me, and I don't expect everyone to like me, so it's fine. If you leave me a comment saying, this video was trash, well, you can't win them all, damn it. Someone's going to have to say, eventually, again, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And I don't go into anything expecting everyone to like me. That's fine. Now, all because, they choose to say it as I like content, and I'm going to keep it real. Everyone's content isn't for me. Now, I don't take it upon myself to let them know. I guess you feel better because you kept it real. I don't know. For whatever reason, there'll be things I'll see and I'll be like, it's not for me. I've never been hit with the sensation to keep typing after to let them know, 9, this is gobbledygook. It's not in me to do it, but I know that's what people do. And I'm not going to, I'm not just going to be like, unless you're telling me something I want to hear, then you're wrong. I mean, honestly speaking, maybe it wasn't my best. Maybe, you weren't here for this one, but you were here for the next one. You don't know. Sometimes people will come around and disappear and you think, well, damn, did I do something wrong? And then they may come back. You don't know. So I don't take it as dang, they said something bad about me. They don't like me, as much as it's kind of like, it's to be expected. And it's just on to the next one.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure for those who may not have a YouTube out there or just like starting to get into it, YouTube will actually show you comments based off of what you haven't responded to, and that's always on the front. So you can go into YouTube Studio every day, and it will show you what's the most recent comment. And sometimes you'll get
Studio.
Sometimes you'll get comments from months ago, some vid that's not even relevant anymore, and they're like, this isn't relevant anymore, they patched this, or I can't believe you're still talking about this in 2020. It's like, I'm pretty sure I posted that in 2018, but that's okay. Like Cup said,
with YouTube, there is no timestamp. Like, it'll be videos from so long ago, but there's always someone out there that you're new to. So it's like, you know, I will still answer and respond to all videos. I don't care if it was from last year. If you say something and, you know, I can actually respond to you, I definitely will. And it's like, I know this video is old, but it's new for someone, you know, and the fact that they took the time out to say something, I'll still say something back.
That's not bad. How quickly do you say, so the vid came up 5 a.m. your time. Obviously, you're not waking up at 5. But on Tuesday, are you like looking at your feed as soon as you wake up? Like, are you making breakfast and then, oh, I gotta make sure people are commenting on the YouTube video? Or do you like wait until later in the day and just like go through all the comments?
I wake up at 5. I wake up to make sure that it did the thing, because the one time I naturally assume that it went up will be the one time. I think one time I uploaded it kind of late. It was when I was first learning how to edit. I'm doing this gradually as I go. So I didn't realize that after a certain time, YouTube will just set it for the next date. And I didn't know. So I thought I moved the date over, but I was ahead a day, so it didn't go up. So I always wake up at 5 to make sure it did, in case I have to manually go in and do it. So I'll just make sure it went up, and then after that, I'll go back to work. But I do my best to just, if people say something, I try to respond. I usually say something in every video to see who made it to the end. And if they do, then I always make sure it's like, hey, you know, you survived the video, GG's. And then I'll start a rant on how it wasn't my fault, that we failed miserably, because it's never my fault. But I do take the time to try to respond back to everyone that does, just because they took the time out just to watch your video and give you a chance. So I do my best to answer every video. I always check at least once a day to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm sure someone's gonna be like, well, I said something to Cup and she didn't answer. I'm sorry, but I do try my best to answer everyone.
Do you, for the ones that you don't answer, do you do the like and the heart on it? Like a little read receipt almost, like, yeah, I read the comment. I didn't think of anything. Well, sometimes there's nothing I can say back, so I will at least like it. But I try not to, you know, I don't want to be condescending and then just give them like a very lazy emote, like, you know, like, oh, you suck. And being that it's another way for me to meet new people, I do use that as an opportunity and to, you know, get to talk to someone a little more. And being that I'm used to streaming live, talking back to people in comments, it's kind of like I'm used to playing games and talking to people at the same time. So when people leave me comments, I kind of look at it from the eyes of, they're watching it no different than a Twitch thing. I want to respond back. That way, you know, you're not just talking to a wall. I think a lot of times we post a video on YouTube and then we kind of bail because we're on to the next one. And then when people do come back and say something for an older video, you're kind of like, man, that video's old. I'm not, you know, I'm over that one. I'm here. But to someone else, it's new for them. I know that I'm late to some people. I like Darcy. I think it's Darcy. I'm late. Darcy's been on YouTube for forever, but for me, it's brand new. So I'm like binge watching and watching videos from like years ago. And if I happen to say something, I think it would be really cool if she responded, even if that video is like a year old, you know. I think it's cool because although it's new content for us or old content for us, it'll always be new for someone else. You don't know when people are going to find you. So I don't base things on the mindset that they're going to find me on the newest video I make. There's people that I met just off the first video I ever posted on YouTube. And it's like, yo, and I'm like, oh, wow, it's like my first YouTube video, but that's how you happen to find us. You never know. Some things just kind of come back around and circle itself. And before you know it, you've met someone new, but I wouldn't cast out your old content just because you moved on. You know, I would make it a point to say something to anyone that says something, no matter how old the video. Yeah, and it's definitely cool to have that library that people can choose from. So they may have searched out Siren Head this week and found Cup, but there might be that one person that typed in Garfield in the search bar and that's how they found Cup.
You never know. YouTube is weird. You never know how they found your video, you know?
I
We
do want
played a
to.
lot of games so far.
I do want to let chat know we will do a live Q&A in just a couple minutes. Cup, I told you we were gonna do a live Q&A, right? This isn't just me springing it up.
I had no idea. What time is it? I'm
If it is
leaving.
just
No, I
springing
got
it
you.
up. It's all right. So one thing that I want to get back on. So schedule-wise, you have a ton of stuff that you do during the week, full-time job. You have the YouTube stuff that you're dabbling into, which is a lot of fun. Again, no real assistance as far as I know from other parties coming in. It's all, you know, solo effort.
I edit in Adobe Premiere. I do my own thumbnails. I have like a whole system at this point when it comes to YouTube, because I'm a creature of habit. And so I try to work smarter, not harder. So I kind of figured out my system for YouTube as far as how I record my videos. And then from there, I edit them. I do my own thumbnails. I render everything out myself. I do all of that. But it's just, again, the more I do it, the more I can kind of fine tune it. I have my presets now, you know, in Adobe Premiere. So it's not like every time I edit a video, it's a brand new experience, because once you keep doing it, you get your presets and you can set things up, and it's kind of just like, you know, wash, rinse, and repeat.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't know what you would want to call it, either a face up or a close up or a blow up when something's like pogging into the actual game itself and it blows you up.
Oh, you
on
make
the
yourself
camera,
bigger and then you come back?
Yeah, it comes back. That's
okay.
I'm a big fan of that. So keep up with that one. I might have to hit you up for that. All right, so for the last few minutes of the stream, I think we have a good like 5 to 10 left. If we do have questions in the chat, now's the time to ask. We will pick out some of the best ones that we can with the amount of time that the Honorable Cup has to spend with us. So if you do have questions, now's the time to do so. Cup, I don't want you to, you know, leak any information from the YouTube side, but do you know about what's coming up next on Tuesday? Without spoiling?
I have no idea what I'm playing. Don't tell anybody. I have no idea. I told myself after this, I got to figure out what I'm playing. Those who know me, they know how I am with time, so they shouldn't be surprised. But I find a way to make sure I get it done. But I have no idea what I'm playing this week. I just know it's going to be weird, and I'm probably going to get beat up. Because for the past couple weeks, every game ends in me getting a 2-piece and a biscuit, but I don't know why. Like, all the games end in someone punching me in the face. So we're probably going to keep that trend going, if I'm lucky.
I don't want to spoil it. I was gonna give a reference to the punch in the face, but I don't want to spoil it. You all gotta actually watch it and see what happens.
I don't know, just pick a game. I feel like I've been getting beat up on these past couple weeks. I have no idea. All games end in me saying ow, but I don't know why.
All right. So first question from Twitch chat. Wondering what mics they used. I'm gonna start off. I am using the HyperX Cloud headset. It hadn't worked for like 2 years, but I updated my PC and now it works half the time. So that's like already better than it was. But for the streaming setup, so like I do this for like multiplayer games, so people don't have to hear me through like the Twitch machine, I guess. But this is the Audio Technica 2020, I think.
Oh, we use the same mic. I'm Audio Technica. I'm the 2020 as well.
Oh, nice.
Do we sound the same?
Do you have yours turned sideways, or do you keep it vertical?
I got mine at a cute little angle like this right now, but yeah, see, you're upside. Yours is turned down. Yeah. Mine is up. Let me see. I'm gonna do this so you can see. Wow. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, mine is. Oh, you all can see it. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, we have the same mic. GG.
Not bad. Not bad. Now, as we wait for other questions to come in, do you do pretty much like the same hardware, the same OBS settings, like all of that's the same for YouTube, or do you have it different?
I use Streamlabs to stream, but then for my YouTube, I use OBS Studio. So I use two different ones, and I kind of have my settings already. So I'm OBS Studio for YouTube. I double track. So the way I set my stuff is I have my game audio and I have my voice audio. So I have two tracks. That way I can, you know, cut and paste from each one, and they're not all running through the same channel, I should say, or same track.
Yeah, I think that's huge. The multi-tracks, especially if you have, let's say, for example, the sound, you want it really like pumping in the stream so that you never have to have people come in and say something's too quiet. But then on YouTube, you might want to have your voice higher for certain sections because like you really want to get the point across that something was bull crap, but you don't want the game to interfere with that. So it's really easy. I'm not sure, but you can Google, YouTube, whatever, multiple tracks to record.
Yeah, I use
using
multi-tracks. It's easier for me to streamline things and things of that nature.
So the next question, how did both you decide what content to put on your channel? Was it based on what your interests are or anything else? I would say me personally, well, actually, yeah, let Cup answer that first while I try to formulate.
Okay. When it came to YouTube, YouTube is just mini Twitch. So for me, since Twitch is my main, I literally taking what I do on YouTube or on Twitch and just making a cuter version of it on YouTube. Because my goal is, if you like the YouTube, you'll like the Twitch and vice versa. So being that we already play these really weird, horror, obscure games, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel for YouTube and do something completely different, I'm literally just redoing that in a smaller setting on YouTube.
All right, not bad. It's tough for me, so I gotta say I started off with basically the Twitch VOD, and as I said, like the game takes place in different runs, so you might think even like a Tarkov or Call of Duty Warzone, like maybe the vid is just the actual like beginning of the game to the end of the game, and that's like 30 minutes cut and dry. It's never any longer. Sometimes it's shorter because you died, but you know, it happens. So I was playing that on stream. I cut it in a way that wasn't really happening much on YouTube. There was like a couple of people that was doing the same thing, but they weren't streaming at the same time. So I already had the content, just cut it up, put it up. People seem to enjoy that, and they, in the comments, again, we talked about actually reading your comments, people recommended other stuff that was actually in the same like wheelhouse of games, the same genre. So I was never really into those, nor was I really exposed to them, because I was just like Cup, AAA all day. If it doesn't have a commercial, I don't know what it is. So coming from those games, I was able to put out other YouTube vids that people seem to like too, and now all of a sudden we have like a genre to stay in. So that was perfect storm set in motion there. Second, okay, so here's another question. This one specifically to you, Cup. Absolute favorite horror game, 10 out of 10, hands down, would recommend. Don't talk bad about this game or else Cup's gonna come get you.
All right, we've played so many games, so it's so tough. But if I'm being honest, favorite AAA game, and it'll never change, it's going to be Resident Evil 2. RE2, original RE, was probably the scariest game I ever played as a kid. It was the first horror game I beat by myself. And when it comes to Capcom, I'm a Resident Evil stan. So I'm going to go with RE2. Indie game, I think the funnest game I have ever played was the Michael Jackson game, the Escape the Jubba Jubba, not the official game. It was the when they had the demo and you had to be a part of the Patreon, the original one. That was hands down the scariest, dumbest game I've ever played, but it was probably one of the funnest times I've ever had playing
Escape
a horror
the
game.
Aoki?
you're running from Michael Jackson quintessentially, and it's nothing but bad MJ puns, like just beat it already and things like that. And he can hear you. So streaming it was just amazing because every alert, every sound effect, he can hear you. And all you hear is like a hee. And it was like hands down okay. It was scary, and I was convinced I was never going to beat it because you have to do it once.
Beat it.
You don't get, you have one chance, and if you die, you start it all over again. And while I'll never play it again because I hate that game, it was hands down one of the funnest horror games I have ever played. It was great. One-shot games are tough, but it was probably one of the funnest. Because, I mean, we ran from Michael Jackson. And he could hear us, like everything we said or did, he could hear. And that was insane. It was a smart game.
Yeah, I think that one is the Ayuwoki game that Twitch chat's talking about. So, Chad, if you all want that, you know, good experience, you're hearing it here first.
Oh my God, if you play it, I just want to be here to make it terrible for you. That's it. I just want to give them the same love they gave me.
Love it. All right, so I think that's our time. I do want to thank Cup here for spending time with us. Much appreciated, Cup. I threw this out.
Before we go, I did see a good question that had to do with YouTube. I'm sorry, I don't.
Oh,
it just asked if I separated my tracks, and I feel like that's helpful, and I don't want to not tell you something. So I do in OBS Studio for YouTube. I do separate my tracks. My video setup is 3840 by 1080, and you can see it. So I have my game and me recording on separate sides because I'm dual monitor of the PC, and then from there I duplicate the video and I use Adobe to do that, and then I crop everything out. So I have two separate videos. There we go. That was I want to help out. I don't want to just make a run for it. I hope that helps. If you have any like questions, feel free to hit me up, but I do separate them.
Is that the secret to the close-up shot? The blow-up shot?
Yes.
Wow.
That way, yeah. So I have duplicates so I can come in and I can fine-tune them and I can play with them and make myself bigger and then come back out. And now I have presets for them. So I can kind of go in and I have like different settings. So like 75%, or I want to be like 100% bigger. And that's how I do the preset. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
No, that was, shoot, I just leveled myself up just now. Shout outs to whoever asked that. I got some homework myself. All right, so that is gonna be it. I actually didn't come up with a name for whatever we were doing. I don't even know what to call what we're doing. Cup was saying podcast. I was just saying I just want to call. So jumping in, YouTube featuring CupAhNoodle, VeeDotMe here as well. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is the first time I've done something like this on any platform, talking to anybody. So I do appreciate Cup letting me train myself, let me do a little intern session here while I learn how to do something like this. If you want to see or hear more of Cup, if you want to, I'm still banking on Garfield being the #1 game, but I'm in the minority here. If you want to see that Garfield, Cup, can you tell them where to find you?
You can find me at YouTube at youtube.com/CupAhNoodle, same as Twitch. New video every Tuesday, 5 a.m. PST, 8 a.m. EST. And if you're in a different time zone other than those two, then you're I don't know you, but it's still love on this side. If you guys do come through and check it out, be sure to leave a comment so I can hit you back and smile and say, hey, you know, thank you guys for having me today. Thank you everyone that came through. Thank you, chat. Y'all are the bestest. Thank you.
Yeah, and I, of course, VeeDotMe. I stream on twitch.tv/VeeDotMe with 2 E's at the end. I guess I should have fixed. I just tossed this up like 5 minutes ago. I'm so sorry. But you can find me on twitch.tv, also on YouTube, VeeDotMe there as well. We're both on Twitter. You can also follow the Cookout on Twitter as well. Shout outs to everyone in the Cookout. Huge PLC community. If you are interested, we do have, even though I think things may be closed right now, you are definitely welcome to follow the... Yeah, thank you, Denny, for posting everything. Follow the application process there. Right now, we are gonna prepare ourselves for a raid opportunity. We're gonna be raiding Major Linux, who is having a podcast session himself. Collective Conversations, Black Stories, featuring Mocha Jones and Champion of Fro. I don't know where you're gonna be playing, Cup. I'm definitely gonna look forward to it. It's probably gonna be a surprise. I think a lot of them have been surprises
it's always
lately.
A surprise. It's even a surprise for me. But we'll have something on Tuesday, I promise. And up until then, we'll be back live on Monday, as always, starting day 2 of The Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
which we're not going to talk about because I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
No spoiler.
So not before we start talking, you know, but I'll be back Monday here on Twitch, and there will be a new video live Tuesday morning on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you can't think of anything, just go back to Don't Leave the House or whatever the game is called. You're going to have to revisit that at some point, I think. Just playing. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We are gonna get the raid going. If you are... Do I have the raid stuff up? No, I don't. Denny, do you have the raid copy pasta for all our friends in the chat right now? This is that NA production. I didn't have the copy pasta ready.